Come on, the Preston boys. We are maintaining our win streak, which is only 2 wins in, so it's not much of a streak, I suppose. But hey, it's 2 wins in 2 games, so that's good for us this season, all things considered. And of all games as well, against Norwich City, we scored 3 goals. 3 goals in 1 game, which is impressive for us this season. And it was very well deserved 3 points, in my opinion. I don't think we did too badly this game, in all fairness, which will certainly ring home for what Gallagher said in the weekend warm-up about us having a good record against Norwich. So then, without further ado, let's take a look at our statistics while I read out the notes. Mason, can you stop blowing the whistle, please? Okay, so we began our first half quite slow and switched off as Norwich bag an easy 1-0 lead, and extremely rare that we win from behind, bear that in mind. Eventually we pick things up and Brown goes down at one point, and it should have been a red in my opinion, and Twitter will agree it was a horrendous challenge. And there was also a foul at one point that gave Ryan Law the absolute perfect reaction. And I'm pretty sure, as far as my lip reading ability goes, he said, "How's that a fucking foul? Fuck off." How's that not a foul? It was beautiful. It's a shame we couldn't hear it in all its Scouse glory, but it was beautiful. Norwich fans were adamant on chanting wanker at Alan Brown every so often as well, which was quite funny, I thought. Eventually we pulled one back from a Reese header, which is really rare. And there was also late in injury time that we had an absolute guaranteed goal. I think it was Sean Maguire that messed it up, but we somehow didn't score it. It was a wide open net, simple tap in, but somehow we just let the ball keep rolling. It was very strange. All around a decent first half with a handful of silly mistakes here and there as per usual, but bad accuracy early on and poor refereeing as well were involved, but it was soon refined. We never have 2 good halves in a game, so again, that's something to bear in mind considering how good this second half actually was for the most part. And Parrott was also coming on as the second half began, which is not a good sign to take Maguire off so early. However, Parrott made himself useful in one way as he traps the defenders in towards himself and Alvaro to bring every defender in that box to those 4. But of course, because Alvaro is utterly quality, he's able to pass the ball through them still into Reese's feet. 2-1, very clear and easy goal. Really good stuff. Woody had a fantastic save around 56 minutes as well that tipped us for the counter-attack after some dangerous attack from them, but it didn't amount to much as per usual. Massive amount of us back at one time, but few of them back, which allowed for us to have a good counter, but sadly we can't keep running with the ball. We're always too hesitant and we stop. Parrott takes a big shot, first of the season, and it looked good, and it was super safe from the keeper, to be honest with you. Cunningham accidentally scoops Pookie's bollocks as he slips, which was quite funny. And the one time we were given a foul throughout the whole game, it was from us diving, and I think from this point on the referee actually gave us more of these decisions in our favour, because for a majority of the game they were not in our favour whatsoever. And it's 80 minutes. Parrott scored a goal, as you can see on the screen. Parrott actually scored for once, and in Parrott fashion, which was really strange, it didn't even go in off of his own back. It was the keeper that actually managed to somehow push it in for him, because it hit the crossbar, and I don't think if the keeper wouldn't have given it that slight tap, it wouldn't have gone in, I don't think. I'll have to watch that back. And somehow as well, as he's scored this goal, he's injured himself. I think it was his hamstring, which required 2 people to help him off. It's absolute Parrott fashion, that is. It's complete and utter Parrott, but we scored, so I'll take it. We had 7 minutes of injury time, and Norwich would have actually scored a third goal, an equaliser, in the 5th or 4th minute of injury time, but they had a foul on us just moments before the ball hit the back of the net, which the referee blew for. So the referee, with his last minute heroics, saved us from that goal, and again he saved us from potentially conceding another goal, because we looked really scrambly at one point and Norwich were about to cross that ball in. They got a bit hasty and fouled us as well, so it gave us a free kick. Plenty of time wasting, we can do that. Great stuff. And at the very end, Dean Smith came back with one of his own fantastic touchline commentary bits, which has him pick up the ball like this, just pretending to throw it at our players, saying who's taking the fucking throw. You can tell he's getting agitated, and I loved it. But absolutely brilliant, fantastic, very entertaining game, all things considered, from Preston standard anyway this season. So, as we can see here, we've got 8 shots all together with 5 on target, which, if I'm not mistaken, is exactly the same as what we got against West Brom. And they had 17 shots with 8 on target. I'm not sure how that stacks up against West Brom, but that's a good attacking ratio. And of course, Norwich are a really good attacking team, so that was to be expected. They had most of the possession, of course, and I think that, again, is more proof that possession doesn't win games, provided you can get on that front foot, or you can absolutely push your advantage whenever you have it, you can easily become a goal-scoring machine and win the game. The game's not about possession. Possession helps, but it's not about possession. Our pass accuracy was pretty low, and I think that reflects the game, to be honest, because we weren't very accurate for a majority of it. We had the most fouls as per usual, and we somehow scraped 5 yellow cards. Some of them were just silly cards, to be honest, but I don't take much problem with it because it weren't really a threat for us. And if we take a look at the table now, this stands us at 8th place, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the highest or the second highest place we've been all season. Obviously early days still, but with a goal difference of only 1 and goals scored of only 7, and of course conceded only 6, that is a very good place to be. I think it's very comfortable because we've got one of the strangest ratios in the whole league, and yet we're still this high up on the table. So I don't know how that speaks for our gameplay. I really do not, but I mean, I'll take it. I ain't complaining. Alright, so Lanx Live player ratings aren't available yet, but match reactions are. You can't go a day in this city without hearing a siren. Right, Lanx Live, like I said, the player ratings aren't out as of the recording, but the reactions are. So if we take a look at Low's reaction to the overall performance, he said it was a fantastic performance overall to come to Norwich, go toe-to-toe with them and take 3 points. It is something the lads need to be proud of. We thought, what do we have to lose? That's not a good thing to think. We always have had confidence in the team and their belief, and the belief. We had a bug throughout the team overnight and the lads played through it. Okay. Potts was throwing up before the game and McCann was throwing up at half-time. Really? I had it in the back of my head whether it was meant to be, and it was. That's very bizarre. I remember them... I forgot to write this down. Potts... Yeah, Potts was on the bench at the start of the game, but was suddenly changed for Diaby at the very last minute, and it was not explained as to why, but that's why. So everyone's ill. I think Andrew Hughes has spread his bug, so obviously that affected Potts and McCann at half-time, and surprisingly they took off Maguire and not McCann. So yeah, McCann eventually came off, but he came off late in the game, so good to see him stick it through, of course. Good resilience, but of course he's a key player for the team. He knows now that we need McCann, so yeah. Took a risk there, but it paid off. Low on Parrott, it was his hamstring, and we'll have to get it assessed. I'm not too sure he did it celebrating. That is hilarious, but good on him. Oh, the tackle again. That was I think the red when he had his spout from the touchline. He said, "I'm not going to comment. I'm not getting fined, but the lads weren't happy." Yeah, fair enough. And Maguire, it's a precaution. He was stiff on Thursday and Friday. Yeah, again, fair enough. Can't really be too angry at that. I think that's somewhat justified. Have we got the player ratings yet, so I don't have to use shitty sofa score? Not yet. No, we don't have our ratings yet, so it looks like we're going to sofa score. I don't like using sofa score because of that. Just look at this. Alvaro 6.6. This is all about... Mason, stop blowing that whistle, please. This is all about stats, and that is not reflective of the game itself, because Alvaro was one of our best players on the pitch. He was up and down that touchline all game, putting the foot in plenty of times, getting the ball back plenty of times. It's all about stats on this website, and that's why I do not like it, because that is far from fucking accurate. Same with these three at the back. Cunningham was the worst of them, but Lindsay at 0.5 and Sawyer 0.7. Come on, behave yourself. Brown did alright today as well. These two, fair enough, and Brady again, fair enough. Maguire didn't do much, so I can see that being the case, and Reese being 8.1. And their keeper were only given a 5.5, probably because he conceded 3 goals. But again, I don't see why that's justified to give him a 5.5, because I think for a majority of the game he did alright. So it's just all about stat. Can we find another website? Because SofaScore is garbage. What was the attendance, actually, while I'm here? I'm curious, what were the attendance? 26,000 fans in total, and we don't know how many we brought. Okay, fair enough. Alright, so we don't actually have any good player ratings for our players by the looks of it, which is a big shame. Because I hate using SofaScore, but oh well, that's what SofaScore says. But if you want my rating based on what I saw, I'd give Woodman a 7.5, I'd give Cunningham a 6.6 maybe, Lindsay a 6.9, Story an 8.1. No, that's too much. A 7.1, sorry. A Brown, I'd give him a 7, McCann 7.3, Whiteman 7.3, Fernandez a fucking 8.3, because he was the man of the match for me. Brady, I'd probably say about 7.2 is about right. Maguire, 6.7 is about right. And Reese, an 8.1, again, it's about right. It's just the rest of these here that I do not agree with at all. And in terms of our substitutions, Hughes got a 6.7, Ledson a 6.5, DJ 6.5, Woodburn 6.8, and Parrott with his highest rating of the season in 7.1 because he scored a goal. Johnson were quite funny as well because he had to take the ball went out for a throw in and he kicks it up into the stands, which he gets booked for, and he then turns to the keeper and shouts, "I'm not even taking the throw in." I thought it was quite funny. Yeah. Alright, so that's the play rating. So then we'll go up to my points to make and my pros and cons, and then we'll wrap up, shall we? Because I can't get a break. Anyways, so our points to make. The first 15 minutes were very poor, but we soon figured out what was going wrong, I think. We had more players up than back for most of the game, but all dropped back when it was appropriate, and I think that is what absolutely turned the tables in this game. We're having more players up going forward than we are having players going back, but we're fast enough to get back. I think that was the good thing about us this game. And I've got a point to make as well. Pookie never does well against us. He's one of Norwich's best players, and he never does well against us, and that continued today. So long may it continue. Reece must be feeling more confident now, as will Parrott, but I have no idea how severe Parrott's injury is. We'll find out tomorrow. And continuing our favourable record against Norwich was also good. Our pros, we had 3 goals scored. We had the same shot ratio as the last game, I'm more than sure. We had 4 better attacking play than the last game and every game before that. Brilliant this is our best attacking performance easily. This is brilliant in the middle for most of the game as well, I thought. The brick wall continues to be a brick wall, and we continue to use the lineup that worked against West Brom, and I think this is a good lineup to play. This absolutely worked wonders for us, and I hope we continue to play this lineup because this was great. And for our cons, we was I think we got very lucky many times. In the last minutes we certainly got very lucky with the disallowed goal and things, but in terms of other things we got lucky with, I think we got quite lucky with winning back a few balls and also being able to get away with a couple of things as well. So yeah, that was pretty lucky. And the keeper making the saves he made, I'll talk about that in a moment. Norwich were the better attacking team overall, and possessive wise, of course, they absolutely ran circles around us for most of the game. So yeah, that's a thing we have to work on, I suppose, but it's to be expected from a team like Norwich. And Woodman made a few errors in running out to get the ball, and he still struggles to catch it. So really quickly, I have nothing against Freddie Woodman before anyone thinks I'm going to absolutely slam him for nothing, because I love Freddie Woodman. He's one of my favourite players on the team, and there's a reason he's our highest rated player this season on this, shitty website. But this guy's full of passion, and every time we walk away with 3 points, the absolute delight on his face is unmatched. Alright? So yeah, I've got nothing against the guy, but he's very reluctant to run out for the ball, and whenever he does run out for the ball, it's always in the worst scenario, because we could easily concede a goal with how far he has to come out when he does this. His distribution's still a bit mishmash, but he had a decent performance in terms of distribution today. And catching the ball is something he just cannot do. Every time he goes to catch the ball, he ends up putting his hands out and he'll push it away back into them. I think against West Brom we got a bit lucky because he caught a few of them, and every time he did push it away, it went back to us instead of back to them. Because in this game, most of it went back to them. And he made a really lucky save by making himself big as well. He should have saved that first one, and he probably could have saved the third one as well, but he's very lucky it got disallowed. So yeah, Woodman, not his best performance today, not by a long mile, but he still did pretty decently as well. And as did the whole team. Can't make any negative impression about the team today. We all did absolutely brilliantly for the most part. So yeah, really happy to see it, and I hope we continue the form against Bristol, because that'll be a difficult match. Like I said in the last video, we're playing 3 teams that are centred around a bird as their crest in a row. And Norwich is arguably the best of them. West Brom can have the better attacking. Norwich is the better balance, and I think Bristol has the best defending out of all of them. So the last game were a case of offence and defence. This was a case of who can actually use their team's quality to their advantages. And Bristol's going to be, can our defence beat their defence in terms of preventing attack? Because I don't know anything about their attacking play, to be completely honest with you, and I'll do my research after this video. But our attacking play, it's very focused on one player. Everyone else will have their efforts, but doesn't usually amount to much. So I think we're not in a great position in terms of attacking, but we'll see what we can do against Bristol. So yeah, thanks very much. The Blackpool game is fucking fast approaching, and I'm not looking forward to it, to be honest. It's very nerve-wracking, but I really do think we're going to win. And I'd say that as a North End fan, and I say that as a team that's got Appleton as their manager. So yeah, thanks a ton, and hopefully we continue our winning streak going forward, because we're now getting pretty close to having a good ratio of goals and a good load of points on the table as well to keep us afloat in the playoff position. So yeah, good stuff.
Subscribe and like the video.
Do that as well.